So Anastasia, welcome and congratulations on scoring a 730. It's a phenomenal score, especially an amazing quant score and a Q51 and a very good verbal score.
Thank you.
So tell me about your background. Q51 is not something that a lot of people get. So are you from a quant focused background or?
I cannot say that I have a quant-focused background, but from my very childhood, I have a good ability in it. So
Okay.
I actually took like some competitions in it, and I was really interested in it. So it wasn't that tough for me to get 51 finally.
Okay.
But saying you the truth, in all my mocks, I had 50. So only in the final exam, I had 51. I don't know how, actually.
The difference between a 50 and 51, especially the way GMAT is today, is very, very small.
That's true. But it seems that I had tough questions in my real exam. So in all my mocks, there was simple ones. Maybe that's why. Maybe my accuracy finally was the same, but the questions were harder.
So did you get your enhanced score report as well?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so because I mean, typically what I've seen is people who pretty much answer all questions correctly or make one mistake get a Q51. When it comes to the quant side of things, GMAT's getting very, very harsh, I would say. Things weren't as difficult when I took the test, which was 12 years back. So it was a lot easier to score I'd say relatively easier to score a Q51, but not as much. But again, congratulations on a 730. You've gone through an amazing journey from a 640 to a 680 to a 730 right now. And where your verbal score was what started with a verbal score of 31 and 33 after that, right?
Yeah, it was 31 and 32 on my second attempt, and finally 39.
Finally 39. So let's talk about how you approached the test when you started studying for it for the first time. Then what did you do next for the second attempt, and then finally for your final attempt? And just let's kind of highlight the key decisions and the key changes that you made that helped you improve, from 640 to a 730.
Okay. So I just want to start from the very beginning a little bit. So the first thing that a friend of mine took the GMAT and scored 760. So I asked him, what did you do like for that? And the first advice from him was to join GMAT club. The first thing from the very beginning. And I said, okay. And for me, it was the first experience to join a kind of a special like network. And I said, okay, maybe I should do that. Maybe it will be helpful. So I wasn't sure that it really will be so helpful. And he said it's not most about actual explanations of questions, but it's about motivation. So every time that I was upset and I wasn't sure that I'm going to like perform well, I was reading that debrief from guys, and it somehow boosted like my feeling of myself, my abilities, and all this stuff. I said, okay, I'll do that. And you know that you have a good like bunches of different stuff. So bunch of GMAT club cuts, and after all e-GMAT and all this stuff. I said, okay, maybe I'll not just join it, but buy a bunch of like cuts. And for some time, actually, I didn't use that. So I wasn't sure that I should do that. And I just started to read all Manhattan GMAT books, all of them. Okay. So even quant books and verbal books, all of them.
Even though you were very good in quant already.
Yeah. So, but I knew that they have some good shortcuts, good like steps how you should approach some special tasks. So I thought, okay, it is difficult to understand what will be useful and what is not. So I just made my best to absorb all of the information that they have. And after that, I started to use cuts from GMAT Club, cuts in quant.
In quant, okay.
Even if I was good at math all the time, I think my lowest score was, my first one it was 36. So I can...
In verbal or in quant?
In quant.
In quant,
yeah,
okay.
In quant.
Okay.
And it was surprising for me because As I perceive it right now, the cuts from GMAT Club are much harder than actual exam.
You're talking about the GMAT Club tests, right?
Yes. So I think that's why I started from the bottom, from 36. And after all, I was just doing as much as I can. So it was not about like doing and trying to realize which I'm good at or bad at. I was just doing as much as I can every time. Because to improve your timing, you should just experience it somehow. You cannot think about one, task and do it better in timing. So from the very beginning, I started to do it by like using timer.
Okay.
Every time. And about my verbal, I just bought official books. So all of them from 2017. And I did all of it, and it was simple. From the very beginning, I thought, everything is simple. Like I can do it 100% right, and what's the problem? But after my first mock was but it wasn't official. It was Manhattan, and I scored I think 560, something like that.
Okay.
Was very bad score in verbal. I said, no, it's not that good as I saw previously. And I started to think, what should I do for it to improve it? And I got private tutor. And
where did you get a private tutor?
Where?
Yes.
Just in Moscow. So we have some, we have some special organizations that have tutors and helping with application and all this stuff. And this tutor is really like respected teacher. She is really nice with good experience, but the problem is that she said, okay, you know all the bases, and we're just going to do some sentence correction. Because it's difficult in class to do critical reasoning because it's time consuming and reading. So she said, okay, we'll be doing mostly sentence correction. And sometimes she tried to explain me and give me some rules, such as like you use only with verb and such as you use with nouns. And I said, okay, but how should I remember? So every time just after exercise, she said, in this exercise, we use this rule, in this, that. And it was like sparsely distributed, not connected into one structure. So as I said, like mentally, I'm like one person, like math person. So I do understand information only if it's structurized. So if it is just sparsely distributed information, I said, okay, but how? Should I just memorize it? Every time I should, like every evening I should look through it, but I can't do that. So my memory is not that good, and I don't want to use it so much. I just wanted to understand what is going on.
I have I have a saying that I say very often. Your brain is a very bad use of as memory. It's a good use to do logic, but if don't use it as a store of information, no, that's a really bad use of your brain.
Yes. So I was really respectful to her, and I didn't know how to quit our lessons actually, because I understood that I'm not improving. So I was taking mocks that time, and I understood that I'm not improving, even if I was improving, because I know that this task I should solve like this and that like this, and it's better to use like structure with that. But I cannot explain why I'm choosing that answers. You know, sometimes you're choosing it by intuition because you did something like that, but I wasn't sure that I do it for the right like purpose, for the right explanation of it. And I realized that I have such a good source like e-GMAT, so I'll give it a try. That's it. It wasn't like I'm so impressed or about all the guys' stories or something. I should give it a try. Maybe it really will work as good as the guys are saying. And started from some video lessons with like basis knowledges. And first of all, I said, oh my God, like it's simple. I do understand it. I know it. But for what should I spend a lot of time on it? I'm not going to do that. So my first attempt really failed because I saw that all of the video lessons will be not that tough, and I just quit it. And after a week of my own preparation, I said, okay, seriously, I have a lot of time to give second try to the video lessons. And after trying maybe 3 or 4, I realized that difficulty really increases from one lesson to another. And even if you think that you know best as well, sometimes you realize that not really. So some of that facts was not that simple for me. So I just heard them from first time. I said, okay, maybe it's a good idea to try it. Actually, moreover, I like Scholaranium much because you can see your ability. So it's easy understandable how it is going on. And, many guys are doing their error logs by themselves, so they're just copying their questions. But I don't know, for me it was a strange way to deal with it. So I didn't just error log, but it was very useful to approach questions that you did wrongly at your first attempt. So in Scholaranium, it's really simple to approach the same questions once again.
It does build an error log for you. It actually catalogs everything, and you can revise things very easily in Scholaranium.
Yeah, so you don't need to somehow write it by your hands or copying somewhere. You just have it in your one system, and that's it. Nothing difficult. But I don't know, somehow to my second attempt, I was really exhausted. So every single day I was studying 7 or 8 hours. It depends.
Wow, that's a lot, yes.
Yeah, but I have an opportunity right now, and it's cool because I know some guys are trying to do it with their job and with their family and just have a couple of hours.
Yes.
So yeah, it was cool that I had time to really to approach everything. And I was exhausted, and after my first attempt was 640, even if I had on my mocks 690 or 700, said, oh my God, maybe I will fail my second attempt also. And I was really physically exhausted and all this stuff. And I went to my exam and decided to take verbal part firstly, because I think it's better to approach the parts that the most difficult for you firstly. Like you're not stressed so much, you do still have energy to approach it in the best way. And I took it, and I don't know how it happened, but nearly on my 15th or 20th question, I realized that I haven't got just maybe 20 minutes left.
Wow.
Yes. So I don't know how, I just was so nervous about it. And nearly 20 or 15 questions, last questions, I just picked just randomly.
Okay.
So I didn't even read it. And I took all of them and I went out of the room and I said to that managing lady, oh my God, maybe I should quit my exam right now because no way that I will do it good at all. She said, no, just calm down, everything will be okay, just do your quant and all this stuff. I said, okay, maybe I should. And finally I got 680. I said, oh my God, really? So
still 680. Wow, that was a lot more than what you had thought you would get, right?
Yes, of course, because really nearly half I've just picked randomly. Yeah, as I said, I didn't even try to read it at all because I was so stressed out, so I cannot to be attentive and conscious, and then I just said, okay, let's do that. And it's really good that I did it, because with 680 instead of 640, I feel myself, it's quite maybe competitive somewhere. So I didn't feel myself that I have nothing in my pocket. So at least I have 680 and I can calm down a little bit. maybe this also made a like final contribution, because you know, a lot of guys are stressed out by importance of this exam.
Yes.
Because nowadays I'm getting a lot of questions from guys who read like my debrief, and one of them said, how can I calm down? Like I'm trying to do everything that I can to somehow spend my time on it. And I was like saving a lot of money from one year to another, and business school costs much. How can I do that? For me, it just worked that I've tried not to think of it at all. So maybe for somebody it is useful to calm you down by saying, okay, it's really important and I will manage it good and blah, blah, blah. For me, just I was trying not to think about importance at all. I thought about it like, it one more mock, and it is an interesting exercises to do. Why not just approach it with like.
And that is the right way to do it, because I mean, first of all, it is just a test after all. Yes, you get a score. Yes, that score has a certain impact, but A, you can take it again. B, it's just a test. And then and C, it's one of the easier tests that you're gonna really see. If you really want to become a good manager, you'll have to make some tough decisions. Okay.
True.
And this is, I mean, and those decisions will be made based on imperfect information. When it comes to GMAT, at least what you're tested on is very, very well defined. So I think you have to be confident about yourself, and you have to back yourself up. And frankly, the test is so well designed that anyone who approaches it well can really do well on it. I mean, you improved from a V31, which is about 60 odd percentile, to very close to 90 percentile, right? And it's all about approaching it properly. It's all about making sure that you understand when you see a question what you do in step number 1, what you do in step number 2, and not, frankly, it's not about remembering the rules. I mean, good managers don't remember rules. I mean, why the hell should you care about the kind of comparison that like does versus as does if you don't know how to use it? You want to make sure that you use that comparison properly, and or you know, you want to make sure that you use such as for examples. So those are the things that you need to do, but you shouldn't really need to remember, okay, what the hell is a noun plus noun modifier and all of that stuff. I'm like, that's not something that you need that you would need in your post MBA life.
True. I do think exactly the same about it.
So then what changed in your third attempt, you know, when you gave the third attempt? What was different?
Yes, it was different, as I said, because of my nerves calmed down a bit, first. Secondly, there's in between second and third attempt, I realized that I have problems with reading.
Okay.
So first of all, I wasn't stressing a lot of attention on it. I said, okay, just reading, you should just read and answer questions. And moreover, in official guides, it's not that difficult. I said, maybe I'm not going to devote a lot of time on it, especially a lot of guys saying that you can't improve it in short time.
No,
I said,
that's
okay, maybe I should try. And actually, you played a good part in it, good role in it, because I realized it after a verbal workshop.
Okay.
So you gave us a link for the test for 70, as I remember, minutes with 36 questions. I did it. And after all, I got that my sentence correction is good, critical reasoning is good, and it was really poor reading comprehension. It was nearly 30% maybe, or nearly 50, so not more than 15. And I knew it somehow, because previously in mock I did bad on it too, but I thought maybe it is just coincidence. So maybe it's just just one day I feel myself bad and that's it. And after like that verbal workshop, I realized no, it's really true that I have some difficulties with it. And I tried to devote my time not to math and other stuff that I do already know. So I just somehow put it on the backside and started to approach reading. once again by experiencing a lot of texts. So I found some resources on GMAT Club with official readings, official passages, and I was just doing a lot of them and managing it in short time, trying to do it on time, not just read and trying to realize and blah blah blah, on time. And also I heard from a lot of guys that they use The Economist. I said maybe it's a good idea. Moreover, I'm interested in like politics and business and all this stuff. I said, okay, that's good. It will like broaden my knowledge about the world, and also with a good like reading comprehension. And one of the guys posted from the Atlantics posted on GMAT Club some questions on 9 of the articles. I said, wow, that's wonderful.
That's wonderful.
So yeah, I can read The Economist and at the same time not just trying to understand text by myself and create questions by myself or do something. I do already have questions for it, for the really difficult articles. And I did all that stuff, and when that 9 articles ended, I said, okay, somehow I should approach these articles by myself. What should I do? And I think I read each article at least 3 times. So first time it was for understanding, and second time it was for realizing for what every single example is for. Like this example is for realizing this, and they're saying about another guy for this. So I'm trying to understand the role of each passage, each sentence in the passage. And certainly, as I remember, it's called like sentence correction hat. So every time I was trying to understand the structure of the sentence, of each sentence, of each modifier, how it works. And even such of these sentences I've copied for like my in my Word. So I used to collect some of that sentences because oh, that's cool because it's structured like in one of the examples that I did, that I approach in questions. It's really nice because sometimes I used to think that GMAT is a little bit it's not contacted with words, you know what I'm saying. So it's somehow it is just specifically designed exam, not for real life or something like that.
Very much for real life.
Yes, and after all, I realized that in exam I saw one of the sentences exactly from The Economist. I said, wow, that's really something from the real world. Yes. So I can use it in my like future life. And what about e-GMAT once again? The thing is that your approach worked well for me because I spent a lot of time watching videos with approaches, different ones. You know, some guys are saying that you should read just first part and one first like sentence and one last sentence. And all the time that I did something like that, I didn't feel myself like confident with it.
Yes.
Yeah, so I thought that okay, I know some sentences and what. So I was stressed and I was trying to find words and spending a lot of time on it. And every time I wasn't really like, not that confident. But after all, I realized when you're reading and understand each and every detail, so even if I was spending on my text not like 3 minutes, maybe 4 minutes, but after really good understanding, you can approach each question in nearly 30 seconds.
That is correct.
You're not going to search
go
for
back
that
to the
words.
passage again.
Yes, at all. So yeah, maybe sometimes when it is detailed questions, you should do like that. But most of all cases, you can just remember just info from your head. That's it. You shouldn't do anything more. Yeah. So that's what I wanted to say.
I think one of the things that people don't realize is that GMAT as an exam was designed by business schools. So the GMAT, the organization, was owned by business schools before. when it started. So everything that it tests, it's not just because it wants to really create an exam that really makes some people look good and others not so good. But essentially, it was designed to test skills that help you do well during your MBA, and consequently, the logic really is if you do well during your MBA, you're going to do well in your post MBA life. So, so it's a very, very practical test. It's a very well designed test. And the fact that you mentioned that there was a sentence from The Economist, if you look at a lot of critical reasoning arguments that exist on the GMAT, they're very real arguments. They're very real scenarios that are there, and so it is a very realistic test in that case.
That's true. Finally, I realized that.
Yes. And as soon as people start realizing that, they also start to do much better, because for them, then taking the test becomes a lot of fun. I mean, for me, when I took the test, frankly, it wasn't as much fun. But when I look at critical reasoning or reading comprehension passages, it's not just about answering questions. It's also an opportunity to learn something new, frankly, and while doing that. So I think that's very, very exciting. But that's good. So I think let's thank you, Anastasiia, for this feedback. So let's now talk about post MBA, and let me actually stop recording right now.